Hi, this is Wes Fryer. It's September the 16th, 2018, and in this screencast, I am going to share a little bit about some different file formats and also conversion options specifically for teachers. And this is going to include PDF files and image files like JPEG, JPG files, and PNG files, and why you might want to know about how to move between these different formats. I'm going to talk about some options that if you have a Macintosh or Apple computer you can use, as well as some that you can use on any computer because they'll be web-based. So Chromebook, Windows PC, or Mac, you can use them in all of those. So the first thing I want to just talk about really quick is why you might want to do that. One of the things that my wife, as a third grade teacher, has been doing more of in the learning journal Seesaw is uploading some files here that students can interact with. And so now in Seesaw, there's an activity library, and so these activity libraries have different files that you can readily grab and work with, and then you can also modify those, and in a lot of cases those are going to be image files and you need to convert them. So what I'm going to show is basically an example. So here in my drive, I'm just going to open up a PDF file. So this is actually, I think, one from my wife, and this is a multiplication file. And let's say you wanted students to do something with this file inside their Seesaw. Well, this is a PDF file, and so I'm going to go ahead and click up here in the upper right corner to download, and so this file is going to download here into my downloads folder on my Mac, and I can actually click here and say show in the Finder, and I deleted everything before I started the screencast, so this is the only thing right now inside my downloads folder is this file. Well, if I wanted to do something with it in Seesaw, so I wanted to create an activity, let's say for students, I would create an activity and I can add multimedia instructions or an example. But if I want them to be marking on it, I'm going to need to add an image file, and you can see right here I could add more than one JPG file. I can also add a PDF file, but depending on the kind of file is going to depend on what students can do. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure this has to be an image file for students to add labels to. Let's give this a shot really quick and see if that is correct. So I'm going to add this PDF, and you can see that I can record on this, and then I can also caption this, so I can put captions, but I don't think I can add labels to it. Let's take a look at how this is different. Well, yeah, if we add an image. So instead of adding a PDF file, let me select from my computer, and I think I'll have to go onto my desktop, and I didn't get really set up for this as much, but okay, here's an image file. This is just a QR code. But let's say we're going to go with this file. Aha, yes, look at that. See how there's all these additional choices. In addition to captioning and recording, when it's an image, I can draw on it, and I can also label it, and students can as well. So this is one reason why you might want to convert between different file types so that you can make a PDF file, as we might have here in Google Drive, into an image. And so there are a variety of different ways to do that. One of the fastest ways is to just make a screenshot. And there are some quick keys that you can use to make a screenshot. Actually, I don't think I Googled this in advance, so I'll just do this as an example. I'll do this with audio. Search my voice. So let me try again. Okay, no, I didn't want to search for the driveway. Screenshot Mac keyboard shortcut. All right, so if you have
Here's a summary from ITG, Institute for Advanced Study.
All right.
A. Entire screen. 1. To capture the entire screen, press Command-Shift-3, and 2.
Okay.
To copy the entire screen,
How do I
press
stop that?
Command-Control-Shift-3.
I want to stop that from talking. Okay. So these are the shortcuts. So if I wanted to copy the entire screen, I can hold Command-Shift-3. but in this case, I want to do a portion of it, and so I can hold down Command-Shift-4. All right, so here we go. So here is the PDF, right? It's just previewing from inside, actually, the Google Drive application. If I just wanted that to be an image, Command, Shift, and make sure we get it right. Command-Shift-4 is going to let me do a region, and so I'm going to click and drag over that. You can see in the bottom right corner there, it says that's going to be a 391 pixel by 384 pixel image. And when I let go, now on my desktop over here, if I minimize this, I've got a new file. It's actually just off the size of the screen. And if I get information about that file, so I click on the file, and you can two-finger tap this or right-click it, do the same thing on Windows. I'm going to choose Get Info. It's called Properties. You can see that this is a PNG image, okay? So that is a file that's been created on my desktop. It's called a screenshot. Did not take any special software to be able to create that. And so if I go back here into my Seesaw, and actually, I didn't need to click back from there. Okay, so I'm going to add multimedia. I can now add a file and select it from my computer, and that's on my desktop. And here is the screenshot. And when I bring that in, that's an image file. And so it's going to give me all these choices, right? I can not only caption it and record, but I can draw and I can label it. So it's made it into an image file. That's a pretty fast way to make a screenshot to be able to create that kind of image. Well, let's back up a little bit and talk about image formats, because here in Google Drive, this is called a PDF. And I'm going to refer you to a couple different Wikipedia articles. Wikipedia actually has pretty good descriptions of technology things, and this is going to be more information than you really want. But PDF it stands for portable document file, and it's an Adobe format, but it's now pretty universal. And so just about everybody's device, whether that's a smartphone or a computer of almost any flavor today, is going to be able to read PDF files. But PDF files are really focused on printing. One of the nice things about a PDF file is that it's going to maintain basically the pagination and the layout of the original document, and that's going to be really set up for printing. So PDF. When we're making these conversions, there's a couple formats that we could choose, and the one that we've just seen in action is called a PNG file, and that's a portable network graphics file. And a PNG file, in the early days of the web, we had a lot of things called GIF files, graphic interchange format files, but those were limited, as I recall, to only 256 colors. They could support transparency, which means that you could have a picture like the dice here, and then if you copy that and put that on something, you could have a transparent background, but it was limited, and so PNG is now really the standard on the web for what's called I think it's lossless, isn't it? Yeah, it's a lossless image, meaning it's not being compressed, so it's a higher quality, and it also supports transparency. Now, the other image format, and there's a ton of these, right? But the other really common one that you've probably heard of before is a JPEG, or often called a JPG. Sometimes it's this JPEG is the full abbreviation, but a lot of times when you see that kind of a format on the web, it's gonna have an extension that's just JPG. This is a compressed format, and so it says JPEG can compress at 10:1 with little perceptible loss in image quality, and so that means that we can more rapidly transfer things on the web. This has been important for the internet in terms of being able to have image files that could be shared, but there is a loss of quality, and you also don't have transparency in JPEG images. There's opacity for the entire image, and so if you wanted to make a collage or something and then have something visible here on the side of the cat, it's not going to work with a JPEG image. Okay, so the first technique that we just showed, and I'll go ahead and put this into the list of links that you can get to, that'll be linked on the webpage where I'm sharing this, as well as in the notes of the YouTube video. The other technique that's built into your Mac is a little application that is called Preview. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up my Finder and I'm going to go to my Downloads folder, and here is this PDF file. And unless you've made a change on your computer on a Mac, when you double click a PDF file, by default it is going to open up in this program that's called Preview. And it's actually very powerful. It comes built in on every Mac. And when you go to the File menu and you say that you want to export, you can actually change the format right here inside the PDF program. And there are a bunch of different choices. The ones I want to draw your attention to are, I can make this PDF into a JPEG. And remember, it's a compressed format, so you can be deciding, how much quality you want to have. The better the quality, the larger the file size, and the lower the quality, the smaller the file size. I usually keep that pretty high. There's something here for resolution as well. You probably want that to be set, as I have it, at 150. Maybe you're going to take that down to 75. But anyway, you can make this into a JPEG, and you can also make this into a PNG file. Like we had before. So I'm going to just name this, converted multiplication table, and I'm going to be making this. Let's make this actually into a JPEG, and we'll give it the best quality. We're going to click Save, and so now this is another way that I can save just this single page. So before I made a screenshot that was just this section of the document, right? I used those quick keys to do that. Now, if I go back into my Seesaw again, and I say I'm going to add a file from my computer, and I'm going to pick that converted multiplication file. This is the JPEG file. You're going to notice that this is going to be the whole file. It's not just that small part. And then look at that. I've got all of these options. I can also label and draw. So I've used the Preview application as another way to convert from format from a PDF file into, in this case, a JPEG file. And probably for most activities you're going to do, like in Seesaw, it's not really going to matter whether it's a PNG or a JPEG. You just have to make that PDF into an image format as it is now. This could be something that they change in the future, but that's using the Preview application. Now, my favorite way to make screenshots and to convert files actually on the Mac is using this little free application called Sketch. Sketch is now owned by Evernote, and they still have it available not only for the Mac but for iPad and iPhone. I thought I had read at one point that they were discontinuing the iOS version. But it is fantastic, and let me show you how it works. So here again is my preview. And so I'm going to click over here on my Sketch application. I click right here on the screen snap, and then it gives me crosshairs to click and drag and select exactly the part of that image that I want to select, and then here it is. Now, Sketch also gives me the opportunity to be able to annotate. So I can draw here, and I can write things, and I can move this stuff around, and this is really wonderful for creating tutorials and things like that. If I'm using Seesaw, I can use the labels that are built into Seesaw to do that. But the thing I want to point out is down here I can choose the format, and this can be JPEG, this can be PDF, this can be PNG, and in order to save this file, I can simply drag this icon and drop it. So there's a PNG format. If I go down to PDF, there's a PDF format. If I go here to JPEG, there's a JPEG format. So it's the same file, the same little screen snap, but now I've saved it in 3 different formats. So that is my favorite way to do that if you have a Mac. But of course, not everybody has a Mac, so let's quickly mention a couple other options. This is a free website called Zamzar. Zamzar lets you choose the file that you want to convert. So I'll go here to my downloads folder again. Here's my multiplication worksheet. And then I say, what would I like to convert it to? And oh my gosh, look at all these different formats. This is kind of overwhelming. But here's our friend, the JPG file format. And then here's also the PNG format. And I can put in my email. and then I can click convert, and it will convert the file and it'll actually email it to me. The last one that I will mention very quickly is that you can use Google and you can go into a new drawing document and you can do that in a drawing document, and so you can export. So I'm running out of time. I want to thank you for watching this on Playing with Media. Remember to